Hello and welcome to a live post here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. I see one of our rescued residents. We'll be seeing two of our rescued residents, surely more, on this live post. That is Bobcat Henry and his companion Haley just had their habitat shoveled, cleaned, and some fresh enrichment placed, and we are excited to be doing a live post with these two special Bobs. Hello, welcome everyone. Some people filing in here, some snow fluttering down. Pretty picturesque Wednesday here. I would say happy hump day, Miss Brianna, but it was a little short week. Everybody's celebrating Martin Luther King Day on Monday. But nonetheless, maybe I will say happy hump day. Welcome everybody. Hello, Kelly Oliver saying hi, Judson. Good jump from Miss Bobcat Haley. These guys just had their meal for the day. They just had, I'm going to keep a respectful distance, pretty lady. They just had their meal for the day. They had their habitat cleaned. We had kind of a little bit of snow, and they had their platforms kind of cleared off, skywalks shoveled, and now they have their full bellies. It's time to enjoy some enrichment and kind of live wild at heart for these two. And Henry and Haley, I always like mentioning that they are two Bobcats down here in a big cat world. Right behind me is our Feline Meadows building. Some of our largest tigers live in this building. Henry and Haley are right across the way from Noah, Elizabeth, Tarek, and Paulina, who are in the yard right there. So I always like pointing out that these two little Bobcats holding their own out here in a big cat world in Red Zone. That was interesting. I just saw Henry kind of making a leap here, and he didn't fall, but he kind of slid off of this log that he's trapezing on there. He says, "Back to it. I know right where to get my enrichment." Haley's going zipping past me and is going to enjoy, I think, some pieces on the skywalk over here. But I want to zoom in on Mr. Henry for a little bit longer. I got to get in some hellos here. Certainly one thing you're going to be seeing on this live post are not only two happy Bobcats, but two happy Bobcats enjoying a lot of vertical space, which is something that we prioritize in our species-specific habitats. There's Henry climbing up high. He says, "I'm not afraid of heights. I got the Bobcat claws. I can do all the climbing you could ever ask me to do." Good morning, Kathy Ryan. Finally above freezing in Oklahoma. Yikes. Gosh, that is just so bizarre. I've been seeing pictures of many of the Gulf Coast states with snow, about a foot of snow in New Orleans, I think Olivia said. Yowzer. More snow than we've received here in Minnesota. So pretty topsy-turvy world out there weather-wise, which is no fun. Henry and Haley hopefully playing nice with each other as they've found... There's plenty to go around, Mr. Handsome, I can guarantee you that, but both of them realizing that there's a clump on some of these steps over here. I would suggest to go right up on that skywalk. But certainly that's, normal for us here in the North Country, abnormal for you down south. So surely hope everyone's staying safe, their pets are staying safe, their loved ones. So that is just no fun and bizarre weather indeed. And I'll tell you what, it has been cold. I don't know what. It's over the weekend dipping into the negative teens, negative 20s. Henry, it's been colder than a vampire's demeanor here in the Midwest. So we're kind of coming out of a cold spell in our neck of the woods, and we're happy and thankful for that as well. But as always, it's always worth underscoring that even within those deep cold spells, that's nothing we aren't prepared for here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, and emphasizing that it's your support that allows us to keep our wild ones warm, keep our buildings heated, and these cats, of course, enriched and stimulated when they might be spending a little bit more time inside due to weather like we've been having. Faith Warner saying hi to the media interns. There's a reply from both Cow Yang and Victoria Faith. Thanks for giving them a shout here. Welcome, everyone. If you're just joining us here, about 80 people live with us here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. I see Mr. Henry the Bobcat up on one of his skywalks. His companion Haley as well have been really just enjoying all types of hidden enrichment that's been scattered around their free-roaming habitat here. Maybe you're new to the Wildcat Sanctuary. Maybe you're still getting to know us and, still have questions. I always encourage everyone to visit our website. Obviously, these live posts are a great way to interact with us on a real-time level. But I always encourage everyone to check out our website. You can learn more in depth about cats like Henry and Haley. Of course, you can consider giving a gift, whether that's joining our monthly Pride program and giving a sustained gift, or whether it's just a one-time gift. I always encourage maybe people who are coming into the Wildcat Sanctuary fold. It's as simple as going to wildcatsanctuary.org, and you can learn any and everything about us, from how we were founded and how we started, to how your support is essential to us as a 501c3 nonprofit, and just how many rescues are here at Sanctuary now, just how many rescues have passed through the Wildcat Sanctuary under your support. It's really a wealth of knowledge. Miss Haley getting to work on some enrichment here on this platform here. I can get to some more hellos. Looks like Henry's kind of scaling up the skywalk. Howdy, and Victoria, you guys are doing a great job about repositioning yourselves and getting a little bit more dynamic shots. Super happy to see that. Haley's cleared off one platform and she says on to the next. Certainly a cool thing about this habitat, whenever I come down here, I always like remembering and reminding that these are actually the first ever skywalks to be installed here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. And we're kind of the forerunner or the prototype skywalks for what would then be placed en masse around the sanctuary in many of our cougar yards, and then most importantly up in Wildcat Pines. For those of you who have been following the sanctuary for a while now, you would know there's so many new things that have come to the sanctuary. This room and our new freezer, all of these things. One of the newer areas of the sanctuary too. If I'm not mistaken, Wildcat Pines was built after around 2012. And kind of for that reason, we wanted to make sure that we were catering in a species-specific way to many of the bobcats that were going to be inhabiting that Wildcat Pines area. So all the way down here in Feline Meadows, they installed these skywalks. They wanted to see if they're going to be able to bear the cat's weight. They wanted to see if they'll be able to kind of endure the weather, if they're going to bear snow weight as well. And as you can see, they passed the test and have since been mapped all across the sanctuary. I mean, even Sushi had skywalks in her yards. Many of the hybrid rescues have skywalks in some of their outdoor bungalows. So really a cool thing that I always like pointing out when I'm down here hanging out with these two mischievous bobcats. Carol Hendricks saying, those skywalks are awesome. They sure love them. They sure do, Carol. And though we all love our rescues here, and we understand that these are wildcats and they deserve to be in the wild. Unfortunately, for our rescues, they've been forfeited that chance for one reason or another, and we're happy to be able to let them tap into as much of that kind of wild, obviously, as we say, that wild at heart sense that we deserve these cats feel, and we feel these cats deserve, rather. And being able to get up high, being able to include some trees and natural foliage in their habitat, and still acknowledging the fact that our rescues are in captivity. We want to get as close to wild as we can. Debbie Sams, I know you're in Orlando. Hope all is well with everyone trying to stay warm in Florida. Don't have any snow where you are, so stay warm even though the snow's not in the ground. I was kind of scanning around a handful of places in the state where I know people, and maybe they didn't get snow, but yeah, the cold temperatures were still there. So stay warm, Debbie, and send my best to Brianna as well. And I love how much I have to zoom in. I think it really goes to show the kind of footprint and size of this habitat. You can see Dimitri and Griffin walking around in the background. Henry's taking a more terrestrial approach, straying down low, and Haley's still up on the skywalks over here. Sissy P with the double entendre. Bobcats like to get high. If it's not catnip, it's skywalks. I tell you, these bobcats. Oh, that's nice of you to say, Cheryl, especially kind of coming off those cold temperatures. Hello. You've got plans to let them get warm if they wish. Exactly. They're indoor bedrooms. You are good stewards of your animals, and this is why I support you monthly. Cheryl, well, thank you for that comment, and even more so, that monthly support, that sustained support, thank you. That's one of the most effective ways to give here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, and signing up for that monthly pride, naming any amount that you would like to give, and then that amount is automated monthly. Awesome. So thank you for that. Kind of a unique angle on Pretty Miss Haley here. I can scroll through some more comments. Dave Lynch, great seeing you guys again after the cold spell. Brr, it was cold, Dave. I can't wait for my volunteer day this Saturday. Well, we're excited to have you, Dave, and weather looks good. So hopefully on top of the volunteer work, you'll be able to see some cats too. But glad to have you as always, Dave. Faith Warner thinking that it's hard to believe that the Pride's 2-year rescue anniversary has happened. I know. It's just amazing. Whoa! How about that jump from Mr. Acrobat Henry? And Faith, it is just amazing how time flies when, I'm so thankful for things like our 2025 year in review where we can look back and, it's not just looking at rescues, but, there's so many things that happen. Obviously, a part of life here at the Wildcat Sanctuary is loss of life and saying goodbye to our rescues, us being able to make sure we are remembering all who we lost in the year. Obviously, those construction projects you helped us accomplish. And boy, oh boy, does time fly at the Wildcat Sanctuary, Faith, and there's just so many things to be thankful for, and the Ukraine Pride being one of them. Cool to think. I mean, I'm having to kind of hold the phone up above my head here. Henry and Haley are in a great spot where it's a little harder for the paparazzi here. Greetings, Jim Brill, from the single temp state of New Jersey. It looks like a lot of our cold weather is blowing out south and then east. So no fun, but we were feeling that Arctic air yesterday. Certainly a little more prepared for it in Minnesota than you might be in New Jersey. So stay safe out there. Hey, Shell. Glad to have you with us. Let's see. Without me telling, does anybody know the outright difference? If you were to try to ID Henry versus Haley, how are you going to tell Henry versus Haley? Henry might look one way, but what way does Henry look? Cao Yang, would I even be able to quiz you? What identification tools have we learned for Henry and Haley?
I think that's Henry.
And why do you think that's Henry, Cao Yang?
He's like that reddish brown.
So he's kind of a little bit more brown. He's kind of has a reddish color to him as well. And you're exactly right, Cao Yang. That's one of the things that, I think many of the Bobcats, they're unique and, have their kind of characteristics, physical characteristics, but sometimes they can blur together to an extent. And Henry and Haley, I believe, in my opinion, are one of the easiest Bobcats to tell apart. Just the difference in that coat color. A much more gray and lighter color from Miss Haley on the log over here, and Henry sporting the much more brown and even red in some parts, in my opinion. Heidi Larkins checking in from California. Hi, Heidi. Hope all is well. Happy Wednesday. Scroll back down to the bottom of the comments here. Henry's still making his way across the skywalk. One's a boy. That's always an easy way to tell. Easy way to say, Karen. I wish I could tell by cats by looking at them if they're male or female. But it is just not that easy. Take it from Autumn the Bobcat. Autumn the wild-born Bobcat who was missexed by the local Fish and Wildlife, and we were told that Autumn was originally a female, and upon Autumn's intake exam, the anatomy of a cat is not as large as other male anatomy, but we were able to tell that Autumn indeed was a male. And I think Autumn still has a charm to it and some masculinity, and they stuck with Autumn's name. regardless of his sex. Looks like Paula Johnson's here. Hey, Paula. Happy Wednesday. Snow. Jody Brower asking, did they have cubs or will they? And I'm sure this is a question that many of those following or just watching the post right now can answer. And what we do and who we are at the Wildcat Sanctuary. And first and foremost, we are not a breeding facility. We're a rescue facility, and we are not going to be breeding any of these cats to create more cats in captivity. And I think that's just a great kind of litmus test if you're ever on the internet and kind of coming across a place that is, has some type of exotic species. And if they're breeding them to create more, I think that's always a good litmus test. Another one too would be, are they coming into contact with these types of exotic species? That's another good litmus test for some type of place that's not doing the type of good work that we're doing here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, which is focusing on rescue, helping to educate on why these cats are coming here in the first place. And all in all, hoping to put ourselves out of business, hoping to tell the stories of these rescues so we can prevent situations like many of our rescues, the situations they've fallen into from happening in the first place. And move on to a world where these types of wildcats are seen in a more compassionate light. And Jody, I appreciate that. That's the second thing that's awesome, is you saying, okay, thank you. Is, a lot of the times we all experience people wanting to come in and just agitate things on the internet. And you were just asking an honest question, and we're happy to answer that type of thing and get you involved and get you learning about what's happening here at places like the Wildcat Sanctuary. So thank you for being so responsive. Well, what do we have here, Mr. Henry? What do we have here? That tail sure likes to flicker, Cow Yang and Victoria. Most active bobcat tails on the property, I tell ya. Hey, Adam. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you you too. We'll hang out with Henry and Haley for a little bit longer. Maybe I'll go around the corner and quickly say hi to Dimitri and Griffin. But really been having a blast so far with these two mischievous bobcats. Sometimes my camera switches over to the better lens, but sometimes it doesn't. It's bizarre. But nonetheless, it's been a pleasure to have everyone on this live so far, mentioning that temps have kind of come back up to more appropriate winter temperatures. It has been darn cold lately here in the Midwest and in Minnesota, and I know a lot of snow happening and cold temperatures. Well, in places in the U.S. where there's not normally snow and cold temperatures, so we're certainly thinking of you all as well. No, hold on. We need to participate in this, Victoria. What was going on here?
Okay, it's gonna melt really quick, but a snowflake just landed on the, you can see the...
Well, and it's worth prefacing, Victoria...
Don't get snow like this, but we did this year. I just missed it all.
Okay, so I was hearing kind of a gleeful childhood moment from Victoria is originally from, where was it, Virginia, you said? Victoria is originally from South Virginia, where, as you can imagine, they might not get as much snow as we do here in Minnesota. And I heard a little cheer coming from Victoria because she found the perfect snowflake and got to see the perfect snowflake. I remember as a child moving up to Minnesota from Florida and being able to see snow falling out of the door or the window on one of my first days of school. And I'm stuck over at the window, the Floridian, and everyone was kind of wondering why I was so infatuated with the snow. So it's fun to see, Miss Victoria. And it's good to have a positive viewpoint with snow as well. More trapezing from Mr. Henry there. Good afternoon, Barbara. Glad to have you with us. Let's see what else is happening here. Betty Duffy saying you had snow in Florida. Yowzer. Gosh, that's no fun. Yeah, I know, Marcy. It's so crazy that we can say that about Minnesota, too. There's definitely, your comment, definitely more parts of snow in Florida than there are in parts of New Hampshire. That's bananas. Bananas indeed. Adam asking, are all the cats staying warm the last few days? The sanctuary has been full of warm and cozy cats. Certainly helping endure those winter temperatures. Caretakers are kicking butt and putting out lots of extra indoor enrichment, since many of those rescues are choosing to spend time inside, doing lots of quick spot cleans to make sure those bed boxes have fresh hay and bedding, or straw and bedding rather. So lots of warm and cozy cats. You bet, Adam. Kind of following along with Mr. Henry here for a little bit longer. But these guys have really kind of painted their habitat red. It's fun to see just how active these cats are when they know that they kind of have a puzzle to solve. They came out here, they're finding these little traces of food that's been scattered to them. I mentioned that Henry and Haley did have their full diet before being given access to their habitat. But they're scooting around. They're not only running and jumping as we've seen, but it's worth pointing out that they're tinkering. Their minds are tinkering and calculating and wondering, where is this food? Are we going to make sure we find all these snacks? And they're out and about, and it's just such a great thing to see from two cats like this. And just kind of imagining that kind of mapped across the sanctuary and how effective it can be for our rescues in a captive environment. Thank you, Laura, saying our rescues are so blessed to have us, and certainly blessed to have that amazing group of supporters we have out there. Yeah, Carol, that's right. Talk about indoor fun. It was fun to see the cats playing with their indoor snowmen. There's going to be a more extensive reel tonight, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's on Olivia's schedule. But we were able to get some fun indoor footage that would have been last Friday of all of the cats in Pride Prairie. I think we shared a photo of Aurora and Alana over the weekend. Heidi Larkins, looks like you were supposed to get snow in Southern California this weekend. Yowzer. Little meeting of the minds here. I still think it's kind of distinct on the phone, but we're getting a good look at the coat color there. Another good opportunity for me to explain how I'm always going to maintain a safe distance with our rescues. Henry and Haley are about 3 feet away from me, and that's exactly where I want to be. Bobcats are big reachers, and I'm not wanting to get myself injured or Henry and Haley injured. It's one of the excellent things about the Wildcat Sanctuary, knowing that we do not treat any of our rescues like pets. They are wildcats through and through, and here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, they are respected as such. You have some sharp claws, Miss Haley, and some big teeth. Yowzer. Last thing I'd want to do. Alrighty, everyone. Getting some good photos, team? Yeah. Yes. Well, cool. Haley, she's up on her platform. Henry, I'm not sure where Henry went. Henry's tooling around somewhere. We'll walk across the way and quickly say hi to, looks like Paulina, who's sitting over here doing some grooming. But thank you, everyone, for tuning into this live today. Certainly a little bit more mild temperature day here in Minnesota, but it's certainly a regular all around the United States. So stay safe, stay warm, and hang in there. And be sure to check in with the cats and get on the Wildcat Sanctuary social media channels if you need a perk up. Certainly we are happy to be here. Cats like Miss Paulina. She says, you make my life so special, and I am here to make you feel special. Isn't that right? All right, everyone. We'll wait for this handsome guy to get down. Oh, I thought he was going to come down and say hi to us. But nonetheless, Tarek is off patrolling. Paulina's giving me a nice quiet moment here in the corner. So I bid everyone a farewell, and thank you all for tuning in to today's live post. Had a blast with Henry and Haley. They were really cruising around their habitat, enjoying that scattered food enrichment. So be sure to watch the full post if you tuned partway through. But nonetheless, Cow Yang and Victoria, we got some photos to go and edit. So off we go to continue the day, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. I know we kind of fell out of order with our Wildcat Wrap-Ups, but Tammy will be on site, and you can expect our Wildcat Wrap-Up happening tomorrow. and great rest of your Wildcat Sanctuary soon. See you, everyone.